Me and the Lion King movie have a special relationship. It came out, I believe, in 1994. My daughter Nubia would have been 2 years old. This would have been right before I started a master's degree program in Africana Studies. And I remember watching this, taking her to see it. Then we eventually got the little videotape of it, and watched it over and over and over. So when I think of this movie, it reminds me of a time in my daughter's life, a time in my life, where you have that father-daughter bond and all that that means, you know. And so this movie, because of that, will always have a special place in my memory because I connect this movie with bonding with Nubia when she was a little teeny weeny girl, you know. And so I want to kind of run us through it, family, because just like I did with the Wizard of Oz movie, I'm going to do the same thing with this. I do want to give a spoiler alert. If you never saw the original Lion King movie and you didn't see the remake that Disney just released 2 days ago, you should not watch this video. I'm going to spoil it for you. So if you didn't watch the original movie, you didn't watch the remake, you should probably turn this off right now and get out of this and watch it after you've seen the movie. So just like I did with the Wizard of Oz movie, which I suggest you check that out here on Black Liberation University YouTube channel, I'm going to decode the Lion King, but I'm going to do it in a way that makes it relevant for us. Because I believe that just like the Wizard of Oz, the Lion King is full of symbolism and motifs and themes that relate directly to our people, particularly those of us who comprise the African diaspora, right? So to do that, I think I'm going to start by just reviewing a few of the important characters. Family, I'm not a professional movie reviewer. I'm not Siskel and Ebert, so, I'm going to do it in my way. I'm going to review a few of the characters for us. First of all, we have Mufasa, right? Mufasa is the Lion King originally in the story. He's the head of, or the leader of, the Pride Lands. Because, a family of lions is called a pride. It's very interesting, too. This issue of pride being connected to an ancestral land and to a culture of people, right? So he is the leader of the Pride Land, as was his father before him and his father before him. So we get this idea of lineage, right? And the thing that I think distinguishes the character Mufasa is that he's righteous. He represents what good leadership should be. He has a balanced approach. He's highly competent. He's loyal. He's strong. If you look at the animated version of him next to his brother Scar, you see he's strong, lean, has a vibrant glow. His skin, his coat glows. He's healthy, right? And then we look at, if you contrast him to, say, his brother Scar. Scar is his younger brother. In the animated movie, he's depicted as having green eyes to symbolize the fact that Scar is a jealous, weak, insecure, overly competitive, small type, right? He's feeling some kind of way because Simba being born now means that Scar, the younger brother of Mufasa, is not the direct heir to the throne. Now, Scar, as you can tell by his name, is defined by trauma, his bitterness, his pain. You understand, family? He don't have the African, beautiful, powerful name like Mufasa. His name is actually his trauma, his pain. That's not good, family, to be ruled by your pain and bitterness. You will notice that his body type compared to Mufasa, he's thinner, he's weaker. It's supposed to, and by his physical structure, it's supposed to represent his character. He's weak. He's weak. He feels small. He feels inept. He's incompetent. And we know that he, in fact, murders the rightful leader of the Pride Land. He murders his own brother because he wants to be the king so bad that his appetite, and we're going to see a lot about this motif of appetite, family, motivation, intention. What's your intrinsic desires? That's your appetite. What moves you, right? This dude's appetite to have rulership over people is greater than his love and empathy for his people or his species, we might say. So he murders his own brother and actually tries to murder his own nephew so that he can become the king, right? He actually cooperates with the natural enemies of the lions, family, the hyenas. No real lion, we would presume, would be cool with the hyenas. The hyenas are their natural enemy. Their adversarial relationship goes back generations, since the beginning of time. It's said in the movie itself. But Scar doesn't care, family. He just wants the throne. So he actually is in an alliance with the enemies of his people, his species, right? And he allows the hyenas to exploit his own species so that he can be ruler. How does he get the hyenas on his team? Why don't the hyenas eat him alive at first? Because he comes saying, yo, I can hook you up. I can give you what you want. I know you want to eat some lions. You want to benefit from what we kill, what we have. If you work with me and be my soldiers, my henchmen, my hitmen for hire, then I will reward you with being able to fill your bellies all the time. Because the hyenas are ruled by their appetite, family. We're going to come back to that. Okay. Now, then you may have to forgive me because we're kind of going back. Simba. This is young Simba. This, of course, I'm taking from the remake, the new movie. The original movie was an animation, as you know. This movie used computer-generated graphics or images. Young Simba represents the innocence of the youth, the purity of the youth. He's not contaminated with being negatively competitive. He's not thinking he's better than nobody. He's young, man. He's learning the game. He is Mufasa's only son and heir, an immediate heir to the throne, which makes him, therefore, the enemy of Scar family, because Scar was the heir to the throne, because he was Mufasa's brother. Once Simba is born, what? Dude is feeling like, oh man, this is a little kid. He's going to be the king all the way to the time that Scar's dead. So Scar's feeling, I'll never get on the throne now. All right. Then you got Sister Nala. I believe the voice in the new movie is that of Beyonce. Nala is a young cub, like the best friend of Simba when they're little cubs. And of course, as they get older, Nala starts getting fine to Simba. And Simba's looking fine to Nala. You know, nature takes its course. They become mates. They actually mate. And Nala helps Simba fight Scar and the hyenas to reclaim their rightful place on the throne, because they are now supposed to be the king and queen, right? So Nala is very important. And Nala, in fact, they showed to be bout it, smart, loves Simba, down for Simba, but knows how to fight and fights for her species to protect it from those hyenas. Okay, very important. And then we have Rafiki. This is one of my favorite characters, quite honestly. Where you at, brother Rafiki? There you go, brother Rafiki. Now, Rafiki in Swahili, because most of these characters of the Lion King actually have names that are Swahili, from Swahili, right? And so Simba means lion, young lion, for instance. Uh, Rafiki means friend. Rafiki is part of Mufasa's royal court. So he serves many roles. He's the advisor to the king. He's the keeper of knowledge for the village. He's kind of like the Jegna of the village. He also speaks to and is in correspondence, if you will, with the kings who have passed, the ancestor spirits of the kings. So he plays a very important role. He actually reminds Simba of where he comes from and who he is, and he connects Simba with the spirit of his dead father, Mufasa. Now, let us I think I got everybody covered. Give me 1 second, family. Oh, how could I forget? We got Timon and Pumbaa. Pumbaa and Timon, right? Which is a water hog and a meerkat. Okay? And Pumbaa, by the way, means fool. Just so you know. In Swahili. It's a real word. So, as you know, Scar sets up Mufasa, his brother, who's the king, and Simba, who is the king's son, to be stampeded by a whole stampede of wildebeest, right? Because he wants to claim that I am now the new king. He successfully kills Mufasa, but Simba gets away. When he sees Simba, he exiles Simba. He lies to Simba and tells him he's the reason his father is dead. That Simba somehow is the reason that his father's dead. He banishes him, says, "Go, never come back." So this young, impressionable, fatherless lion cub is now out there on his own, like so many of our young brothers in this country, in this world. Travels on his own now. He's left to figure stuff out what? On his own. He don't get that support, the lessons, the sitting down and the schooling that he's supposed to get from his father, because his father has been killed. So in his state of disillusionment, he's sad he lost his dad. He's confused. He's like, well, how did I contribute to my father dying? He's feeling guilty. Damn, I had something to do with my dad dying. He's feeling all these emotions. He's lost. Notice that these stories always have somebody who is lost, family. In The Wizard of Oz is Dorothy. In The Lion King is little Simba. Notice there's always this motif of someone being disconnected from their culture, from their home, and being lost and having to find their way back. It's always a motif and a theme. So in the midst of this, he runs into these characters depicted here: Pumbaa and Timon, a warthog and a meerkat. And they're quite entertaining. They're very funny. You know, they're constantly got Simba on some different wild goose chase. But here's the thing that they represent. Are they lions? Nope, they are not. They're not lions. They are not lions. They are not part of Simba's species, right? So they wind up teaching are young, lost, displaced, disconnected, confused, sad, guilty. Simba, the young lion, this concept called Hakuna Matata. This is interesting for us, family, because Hakuna Matata means no worries. And so they introduce our young lion to a number of foreign policies and foreign practices that Simba don't know nothing about. And as a matter of fact, in both movies, the original and the remake, he says, I wasn't taught that. That's powerful. You know why he wasn't? Because his father taught him to be a lion. His father ain't teaching him to be no meerkat and no warthog. But he's now away from his village. And so he's surrounded by foreigners, outsiders, who are now teaching him, supposedly, the things he needs to know. And remember, at first, they both see this lion, they go and they run because they naturally, the lion would eat them. Y'all didn't hear what I said. Naturally, the lion would eat that meerkat and eat that warthog, right? So they have an interest in miseducating him. They miseducate him because they know if he acts within his correct nature, we're done. So we must take that lion and make him a pussy cat. And how do they do it? They got this, he grows up, he's now a full grown lion. They got this full grown lion eating worms, eating that stuff that's not in his natural diet, kind of like we eat swine. I'm sorry. Mm-mm. They got this and all this other foreign crap that's not in our natural diets. They got this full grown lion singing Hakuna Matata is a wonderful phrase. There is a full grown lion. First of all, he's supposed to make them to his dinner. First of all, he's supposed to be the king of the jungle. But he's confused. He's been raised by the wrong parent. Daddy wasn't home. So therefore, someone else took the place of his daddy. And the people that took the place of his daddy was a warthog and a meerkat. Don't know a damn thing about being a lion, but what they do know, we don't want this lion to know who he is, because if he knows who he is, we are done. Now let's check out the song they're teaching this brother. What are the words of the song? Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. Hakuna Matata ain't no passing craze. It means no worries for the rest of your days. It's our problem-free philosophy, Hakuna Matata. Then they go on to say these two words will solve all your problems. Now let's look at that. What they're basically teaching the young lion is escapism. I heard Brother Patrick did a live on Facebook. He's talking about black escapism. Well, this is it right in your face. They're teaching him hedonism. Just worry about the pleasure. Worry about your appetite. Worry about being good. Don't worry about that stuff, man. You can't do nothing about that. You know, they teach him principles to make him weak and soft and make him more like them so that they will be protected. So they're teaching him escapism and cognitive dissonance. Well, I know we're poor, but I'm not going to do anything to change my condition. You know, well, I know police are killing us, but I'm not going to do anything to stop that. I mean, no worries, you know. That's not my problem. Hey, that's not what I'm here to do. If you want to change it, you change it. I'm not connected to y'all. Sound familiar? Now, by the time, it's so bad, family, that by the time Nala, who remember Nala's like his little girlfriend, so to speak, by the time she grows up, runs into Simba, who's now grown up, and she says, where have you been? You know, we thought you were dead, and da-da-da-da. She's telling him, listen, where we're from, our home, our neighborhood, our community, it's been ruined. It used to be the pride land, now it's a waste land. We're starving there, Simba. Your mother is worked like a slave, Simba. It's terrible. He says, well, what happened? She says, well, your uncle said that you were killed, you were dead, your father was dead, so he took the throne as king. And because his leadership has been arrogant, selfish, and disloyal, he's basically turned a plentiful place into a wasteland. Right? Now, remember, before this, Simba's father Mufasa took him out and schooled him like fathers do with their sons in a normal society, a normal situation. They'll take them to the park, they'll sit them down in the house, they'll take them to the basketball court, wherever, and they'll sit down and school them on things that they don't know, right? And usually the son is listening to his father. He's not fighting them back. He's listening because that's the natural, normal way things work, right? And he told him, Simba was like, "Oh, you're the king, and you got all the power." He said, "No, no." He said, "No, I don't lead with arrogance, son. Leadership is not about arrogance, son. Huh?" He says, "There's a great circle of life, son, and I play a role in helping to regulate and guide that. And we have to allow things to grow. Some certain things will be eaten by other things, right? And I have to make sure I help in my role as leader to maintain a very delicate balance. I'm not here to lord over people, and I'm not here to impose my rights on people. In some cases, as a leader, I have to protect the other species or other parts of this village that are weaker than us, like the elders or the little kids, that we gonna step up and exert leadership to protect them. It's not always I'm the leader so I could show how strong I am. I serve the village. So he's trying to teach his son what real leadership is about. It's not about saying, hey, I'm the lion, you do what I say. It's not about that. He's trying to teach him. Now notice, juxtapose him with his younger brother's leadership, Scar. Scar is all about, he's the leader, but his species is dying. They're starving under his leadership. They're not eating right. They're not hunting right. The lions have no will to hunt. They're demoralized and crushed under his whack ass leadership. Because that isn't leadership. And moreover, Scar has allowed the enemies of the lions right into their pride land. He's working with the enemies of his species because he doesn't care that they're the enemies of his species, because he doesn't care about his species. That's the whole point. His appetite is wrong. Scar's appetite is wrong. He's just thinking about him eating. He don't care about them hyenas. He don't care about the lions and lions. He doesn't care about none of them. He just wants to eat, and whoever he can use to help him eat, to help him be on fleek, to help him stand out and have power, he will use them any which way but loose. Hope y'all are following me. This is talking to us. When Nala says, look, we need you, Simba. You're alive. Come back. Help me fight this evil leadership. Help me fight this neo-colonial leadership. Help me fight the Negroes who are working with our straight up enemies and selling us out. Come back and take your rightful place on the throne, Simba. All this lion could say to this beautiful, strong lioness is, Hakuna Matata. He don't got the James Earl Jones voice of his father. He got the weak Hakuna Matata. Are y'all feeling that, what they're showing you? He's been de-lionized. He's a pussy cat. Anyway, he's talking about Hakuna Matata. You don't know. She's like, what's Hakuna Matata? She's like, what the Hakuna Matata? She's a lioness. She ain't never hear that bullshit. What is that? It means no worries. We don't fight. She looking at this Negro like, what? I knew your father. I know what he taught you. I grew up with you. You a lion. You ain't a meerkat. You ain't a warthog. You ain't a hyena. You lost in the sauce. Come back to who you are, brother. And like a good woman would tell a weak Negro like that, I'm disappointed in you. You ain't. I thought I had it wrong. She said, I'm out. Peace. She bounces, right? She bounces. So it's like our community leaders members are being killed, family. Imprisoned unethically, family, and in disproportionate numbers. Pimped by white corporate philanthropists, family. Pimped and lied to by Negro politicians, family. And pimped and lied to by neo-colonialist Negro nonprofit leaders, family. We're looking and we're witnessing increasing black poverty, more black men opening doors and asking for change, more people on the train begging for change, more black people living in the street begging for change, more black people being evicted from their apartments, more black people having their homes foreclosed on, more homelessness, right? And the people who are supposed to be the leaders but have been turned from lions to pussy cats are saying, Hakuna Matata, man. What you want me to do? I can only do what the voters support me to do. I got to work in the system, man. It's the only way, Damn, what you expect? Look, that's not my fight. Like y'all gotta. I'm just trying to take care of my family. Y'all gotta do Hakuna Matata. Hakuna Matata. Escapism. Hedonism. Take care of yourselfism. What are the lessons, therefore, we get from The Lion King? The original or the remake? What's the lessons? Let's go through it quickly. Let me make sure I'm on my right screen here. What's the lessons we get from The Lion King, family? Let's go through it very quickly. Number one, leaders are servants, guides, and protectors of the people. Real leaders, are not motivated by ego, by status. They're not motivated by their pain. They don't allow their pain and their personal trauma or jealousies to dictate their leadership. This is why Mufasa had a beautiful African name. Scar, on the other hand, was named by his bitterness. His trauma named him or defined him, right? Another lesson is a reminder: the people who will betray you will always come from your inner circle. There will always be people close to you. So whether that's your family, whether that's people you work with, so-called friends, it's a reminder. Who betrayed Simba or Mufasa? His brother. Who betrayed Simba? His uncle. So you need to remember that. Very important. Remember, if someone is your enemy, they can't betray you. Betrayal means, by definition, someone you trusted does something, right? So that can only mean people who are close to you. Everyone on the throne is not an actual king or queen. Some got there by murdering or eliminating real kings or queens. Uh-oh. Am I stepping on toes? Crunch? Huh? Some of the people you see in positions did not get there on the basis of their competence, their intelligence, their record of service to the people, their love for the people. They got there because they eliminated real, authentic kings and queens who should be in them seats. They lied on people. They tried to destroy people's reputation, right? They worked with the police, the FBI to displace these people to ruin their reputation or character in the community. Remember that. Don't assume because someone's in a seat that they belong there, family. That's why some of the holy books say The first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Remember that. Lesson: we must preserve our culture, our views, our values, our priorities, the way we look at the world, our cosmology. We must reject when outsiders come in to our neighborhoods, in our organizations, in our homes, in our schools, and attempt to impose their culture on us, their views, values, and priorities, right? Or else we'll be making alliances. We'll be running around with people. We'll be singing the songs of people and doing the dances of people and chilling out with people who should be our meal. Let's say that again. If you get it twisted, if you forget your culture and start accepting everybody else's culture, you'll be cool with people who should be your meal. I hope y'all get what I mean by that. I really hope y'all get that. That's important. Oftentimes, your enemies or descendants of your enemies or members of your adversarial group will come to you out of fear. They know what you're capable of. They know what you can do when you're left alone, when you're unshackled, right? And so they'll come with philosophies and ideologies and ideas to weaken you so that you will no longer be a threat to them. They're praying that you never know who you are. They're hoping you never wake up to see your Africanity and that you reconnect with Mayat and other indigenous African belief systems and ethical systems. So they're going to tell you Hakuna Matata or escapist philosophies that do us no good. They're going to give you books that say, slave, obey your master. They're going to give you books that say, oh, money is the root of all. Don't get no money or power. You don't want that. They're going to tell you things that go against your natural order of things that will weaken you so that they can make you their meal instead of you making them your meal. And I want to remind us, and this movie reminds us, failing to acknowledge or confront a problem does not make the problem disappear, family. So Hakuna Matata and any of those escapist philosophies, at the end of the day, do us no good. They really don't eliminate the problem. And what they do is they make your community more vulnerable and susceptible to the problem or the virus called white supremacy because your body has not developed any what? Defense system. So now your body's just there getting attacked by all types of diseases from the enemy because nobody says, you know what? This is not good. We got to build a defense system against this. So all Hakuna Matata does is make your community more vulnerable to be eliminated. Another lesson: true kings and queens have a responsibility to protect their village and to fight the enemies of their village, not get along with dancing and singing with them and eating like them and drinking like them and dressing like them and thinking like them. No, that's a problem. When you are paralleling the views, the thinking, the philosophy, the cosmology of your enemy, you have a problem, right? Another lesson we get from the Lion King: those leaders in our community that make deals with our enemies by sacrificing the wealth, the beauty, and the power of their own village members, they are traitors. And historically, and even in the movie, traitors deserve two things: exile or death. In the movie, Simba beat his uncle Scar, the traitor and sellout. He beat him down and told him, yo, you gotta bounce. You gotta leave and never come back. He exiled. But when Scar is trying to defend himself to his nephew Simba, he's revealing truths, and I just used those hyenas. I didn't care about that. He's lying. The hyenas hear him. So he's walking away to exile, but now the hyenas move on him. He says, look, I was just telling him that. And they said, no, 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 no. You called us stupid. You said you were going to try to get us killed. You lied. So now they eat him alive. His enemy now is no longer his temporary alliance member. His enemy reverts to being his natural enemy. The lions and hyenas are natural enemies. Period. Watch National Geographic and you'll see, right? So what it's telling you is that those people have to be dealt with a certain way because allowed to regenerate and be cool, they're just going to keep doing their devilishment, keep destabilizing communities, keep making backroom deals with people who mean us harm. And we have plenty of scars in our community. We got scars here on YouTube. We got scars in the church. We got scars in the mosque. We got scars in our homes. We got scars on the block. We got scars that talk about black power and RBG and wear all the colors and all wear the dashikis and the mm-mm. You're gonna know a king or queen by how they get down, by how they organize in the community, by the fact that they love the community and put their village first. Not their ideas, not what they think. They put their village first. They're unafraid to fight the enemy to the death. They're unafraid to challenge members of their own village when they see that members of their own village got it wrong or got it twisted. Okay, remember, these are lessons coming right from that movie that you can teach your children. You can sit down with your child, watch that movie, and you can point all this stuff out. Another lesson: the ancestors are real. Your mother, your father didn't die and they're gone forever. You have access to them. Their spirits are here in our cosmology. And so when Simba was feeling alone, his father was dead. Dad, why won't you be here? You said you never leave me. Rafiki, the wise village elder, had to come and say, no, bro. He's here. You have access to him. Right? He's able to talk to him. Even though Mufasa is physically dead. See, they're showing you what African ancestor reverence, ancestor invocation, and invoking the spirit of our ancestors, that we can connect and communicate with them, that they do not leave us, right? And that we must learn to heed their wisdom and their guidance. through their pain and their bitterness is what leads them. And that's not going to save our people. Only love is going to save us, family. Only love. Should we be upset with the enemy and our condition? Yes. But bitterness ain't going to help you. It's love for your people that's going to wake your ass up early in the morning. And it's love for your people that's going to have you digging your nose in them books when other people are frolicking and partying and like, oh, why you always reading? Why you corny? That's love is going to push you to do that. So we really have to understand, family. So many lessons in this movie. I hope y'all feel it. I'm not going to belabor it anymore. Hope you find it relevant. Hope that you will share it with people who you feel you need to share it with. With that said, family, if we can really understand this, if we could really understand this, I got 3 words. And you know what those 3 words are. We will win. And I'd like to thank, by the way, my one true love, Brenda. I'd like to thank Sister Siobhan for coming through and your very important commentary. I see Sister Janice Logan coming through. I'd like to thank all of you, family, and I hope that you will share it with people. Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful week. And don't forget, 7 p.m. right here, we got the Black Power Cypher. 4 activists going to be breaking it down tonight, 7 p.m. to 8:30 Eastern Time. Thank you. Peace and Black Power, family.